Over the last year, my team and I have helped more than 100 families make a move to the San Antonio area, and we saw some really crazy stuff along the way. If y'all thought this Texas real estate market was wild back in 2021, then just wait, because 2022 is going to be a whole nother kind of situation. Stay tuned, because in this video, I'm talking about what I think the housing market's going to be like in San Antonio for 2022. I'm giving you tips on how to navigate this thing, and we're getting into it right now. What's going on, family? This is Greg Foster here with Market Boss Real Estate Group, and if this is your first time in the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, working, eating, chilling, and playing in San Antonio, Texas, then click the subscribe button and tap that little bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. And my team out here, we're getting calls every day from folks just like you, researching neighborhoods and checking out homes in the San Antonio area, and we absolutely dig it. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home anywhere in the San Antonio area, then give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or click the link in the description to schedule a Zoom call with a member of our team. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back in San Antonio, Texas. Pretty much since the spring of 2020, the housing market nationwide has been on fire, and the San Antonio area has experienced a frenzy that's crazier than most areas. It's been a seller's market unlike anything I've seen in the last 12 and a half years of being a realtor, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too soon, but I'm expecting more of the same in 2022. Now, I promise y'all, I'm not going to make this some kind of boring economics lesson, but there are some serious economic factors at play in our housing market right now, and it's having a major impact on the direction of our home prices. So if you're planning a move in the next year or so, you're really going to want to take this stuff into consideration. Let's start with supply and demand. Looking at the latest data that I have access from the end of November 2021, all three counties encompassing the San Antonio, Boerne, and New Braunfels areas still only have about a month and a half worth of inventory, which basically means that if nothing else hit the market in 6 weeks, everything that's currently for sale right now would be gone. Historically, a healthy, balanced real estate market usually has about 6 months worth of inventory, and we don't typically see a rush of homes hitting the market really late or really early in the year here in San Antonio area. So with so little supply and so much demand for homes here, I'm really expecting this imbalance that we've been dealing with since the spring of 2020 to continue well into 2022, which basically means that these rising home prices around here ain't even close to being done yet. This has been going on for more than a year and a half now, and to balance things out, we're either going to need to see more supply or less demand, and based on how things are shaping up for 2022, I ain't holding my breath for either one of those. Locals in the San Antonio area are really thinking twice about putting their homes on the market because they're having a hard time answering the question of where they would go next. And while there are a lot of people taking the jump and cashing in on their equity, right now we're really relying heavily on builders to produce a lot of our inventory, which creates a whole different set of issues in itself. They're building as fast as they can while still trying to navigate all of the challenges that popped up over the last year with supply chain issues, rising prices, and labor shortages. The typical 6-month build time in the area is stretching out 8 to 10 months now, and in some cases it could take up to a year to have a home completed if you're starting from dirt. And that's not even talking about custom or semi-custom homes either. I've seen high volume production builders in communities with literally dozens of homes stuck at frame stage because they just don't have enough trades to get these houses moving along. And with lumber prices recently jumping up again at the end of 2021, I'm expecting to see even more volatility in the pricing on new homes as we move into 2022. Now, new construction is a super important topic, and I'll be going deeper on that a little later in this video with some tips on how to navigate that thing. But that's just a little bit about supply. When it comes to demand, people are still moving to Texas in droves, especially to the San Antonio area. A recent article in the San Antonio Express News shows that we've seen the highest percentage increase in 6-figure jobs in the entire state. And the National Association of Realtors is also ranking San Antonio in its top 10 hidden gem housing markets for 2022. I mean, we're still the most affordable big city in Texas compared to Dallas, Houston, and especially Austin. So when folks are looking for things like job opportunities, a lower cost of living, no state income taxes, and a city with a strong culture and a cool vibe, it's easy to see how San Antonio checks all those boxes. We're seeing people from all backgrounds and in all stages of life making the move to San Antonio right now. I mean, we've had clients in and nearing retirement, families looking for safe neighborhoods and good schools to raise their kids, and even young professionals fresh out of college coming here to start their careers. I'm serious, y'all. The demand and the excitement in this city is just off the charts right now, and it's really to the point that people are starting to wonder how long this craziness is going to last. I mean, personally, if you ask me, it's not exactly like San Antonio is going to be any less of an amazing place to live in the near future at all. The secret is is out, the people are coming, and in a lot of cases, we're even seeing multiple generations of families making the move here. Really, the one thing I see on the horizon with the potential for a major shift in our market is the thing that we're going to talk about next, which is interest rates. Now, for all my cash buyer peeps out there, don't sleep on this one, okay? Because even if you're not looking to finance your next home purchase, there's still some major implications on the horizon for how interest rates are going to impact your home search, especially if you have a home that you need to sell before you can buy. As I'm sure you already know, mortgage rates have been at historic lows for several years now, and there's a lot of chatter out there about them going up this next year. So, do I think interest rates are going to go up in 2022? Well, the short answer is yes. I do think they're probably going to go up. Now, whether or not they go up enough to actually affect demand is really the bigger question, though. Unless interest rates head somewhere well over 4% in the next year, I'm really not expecting to see them to have a major effect on demand. In fact, if people even start thinking the interest rates are getting ready to go up, then it's likely to push even more buyers into this market trying to take advantage of these low rates before they go up later in the year. I think we all know that interest rates couldn't stay down in the low threes forever, but even when they go up, which they eventually will, buying a home is still going to look like a pretty good deal compared to renting. When my wife and I closed on our very first home back in 2010, we were super fired up about that 5.5% interest rate that we got. And don't even get me started on the 14% interest rate that her parents had on the first home that they bought. Last thing I'll say about interest rates though is that if and when they do go up in 2022, I'm actually expecting to see even more demand and the prices in San Antonio rise even faster. Let me explain. People are moving to Texas at a pace that we've never seen before, and it's to take advantage of the lower cost of living here as compared to most other places that they're coming from. We're literally seeing multiple generations of family fleeing higher cost areas like California, Washington State, and New York, where the average home prices there are 2 and sometimes 3 times higher than what you can find right here in San Antonio. I mean, 4 and 5% interest rates just hit a lot different on the $350,000 homes that you'll find here in Texas as compared to those really expensive homes that you're going to get on the East Coast or the West Coast. So assuming the interest rates do go up in 2022, like I believe they will, I'm really expecting that to make Texas and the San Antonio area in particular even more appealing to out-of-state home buyers wanting to leave those high-cost areas. I mean, seriously though, if you could get the same house with the same interest rate for 2 or 3 times less money, who wouldn't want to do something like that? Okay, so by now, I'm sure all of you out there watching are planning to move to Texas or out there like, why would I even want to be a buyer right now? This real estate market sounds crazy. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, okay? It is really hard out there for home buyers right now. But after helping more than 100 families make the move to San Antonio over the last year, my team's really cracked the code on how to make this thing possible. And I've got some tips on how you can navigate this crazy housing market going into 2022. Tip number 1 is to get ready. You need to have all of your ducks in the row, and I mean all of them, okay? If you're getting financing, you need to have all of your financial documents to your lender, and they need to provide you with a full out pre-approval, not just a pre-qualification letter. Your lender needs to be ready to call that listing agent and sell them on how amazing of a buyer you are, how strong you are financially, and how confident they are that you will close. Your realtor needs to be an experienced, full-time agent that's been successful in helping clients win in this market. If you're talking to somebody and they don't have a lot of experience with negotiating and getting their clients under contract in this market, then they're probably not the one for you. Get your lender and your realtor team together and create a game plan first before you ever start stepping out to look at some houses. I can almost guarantee that you're going to be competing with other home buyers who've already done the work of getting ready and putting their team together. And the way things are shaping up out here, it's the best team that's going to win in this market. Number 2 is that you might want to look into new construction. I promise you I'll talk a little bit more about new construction, and man, has it been a lot of my team's business over the last year. The inventory, the incentives, and the pricing around here has been changing almost daily, but the biggest benefit for home buyers going into 2022 is the fact that new construction actually secures your home and locks in your pricing. I know it sounds crazy, but just securing a house in this market is literally half the battle. Now, you might not get to move in on time, you may not get to pick any finishes in that house, but you will have a home at some point. A lot has changed with new construction this year, and I've seen a number of builders do away with their design centers and just go the route of building spec houses instead. They're choosing which homes go on which lots, they're selecting all of the finishes, and building out entire neighborhoods with pre-planned inventory homes for people to buy, which basically allows them to streamline their processes, tighten their timelines, and do a better job of controlling the pricing in their communities. I know it's super frustrating for home buyers that are wanting to pick out their own finishes, but honestly, the builders really just don't care, because it also allows them greater control over their cost, and they know that as hot as this housing market is, they're gonna end up selling them houses to somebody. So it's just all around easier for them to do it that way. builders are still trying to dig their way out of the supply and the labor issues that have slowed things way down over the last 18 months, and we're seeing a lot of delays across the board with build times here in the area. The challenges of building a home are very real right now, but having a home and securing the pricing has helped a lot of our clients sleep well at night. So if prices go up over time while the house is being constructed, most folks just really aren't even worried about it. In fact, we've had a lot of folks who by the time their house was done, they were already sitting on tens of thousands of dollars in equity because of incremental price increases in the community. Do not try navigating new construction right now without a realtor. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't save any money by not having representation, and it really is difficult out there. It's not like existing homes for sale where everything is on MLS and you can see everything for sale online. There are some amazing homes and a lot of really good incentives that you would never know about unless you had an agent with deep ties into the builder community around here. Number 3 is to get creative with your offers. There are a lot of things that you can do to make your offer more appealing, and I'm not gonna give you all of my secrets in this video, okay? But I do have some things that I wanna share that we've seen a lot of success with over the last year. And that is the initial phone call to the listing agent. They get a call from our lender partner, they get a call from the agent on our team that you're working with, and it's all about building the right kind of rapport so that we can figure out what it's gonna take to get your offer accepted. In this kind of market where everyone has a solid pre-approval or they're paying cash and they're offering way over list price and they're waiving appraisals, it usually comes down to how confident the listing agent and the seller are that you're actually going to make it to the closing table. We want to know what's important to the seller, what they'd like to see in an offer, and just as importantly, what kind of an offer the listing agent would feel really good about presenting to their seller. And you'd be surprised about some of the stuff they say. Sometimes it's about just removing or shortening certain contingencies. Sometimes it's about staying in the home for a certain amount of time after closing. And sometimes it doesn't even have anything to do with money. The goal here is to create a win-win so that everyone can get what they're looking for. And it's a big reason why 9 times out of 10, most of our clients are getting their offers accepted the first time around. And tip number 4 applies to everyone, especially for all of my first-time homebuyers out there. And that is, don't give up. I know it's tough out there, especially for first-time home buyers with entry-level prices being where we're seeing most of the competition, a lot of multiple offers, and a lot of investors snatching up most of the inventory out there. But with rental rates being as high as they are and constantly rising, it still makes a lot of sense for you to do everything you can to become a homeowner. Historically, homeownership is one of the single best investments that you can make in your lifetime, and I still believe that holds true in 2022. Now, I fully respect that as prices continue to go up, that it will knock people out of this market, and I know that's not fair. But what really makes me sad to think about are the people that could have bought last year and were either too nervous to jump into the market or too frustrated to stay in the market that decided to rent for another year. The homes they're looking at today look a lot different than the homes that they were looking at this time last year, and we're in the kind of market where waiting could not only cost you time, but it'll cost you a lot of money as well. I'm here to tell you right now that if buying a home is a priority for you in 2022, then I believe that there is a way to make it happen for you. Now, I never want to be seen as the type of agent that says things are going to keep going and going up forever. Obviously, that's not sustainable, and there will come a time when prices start leveling off. The problem is, I don't know when that's going to be, and I don't see an end to all of our supply and demand issues or balancing out anytime in the near future. What we're looking at right now is the new normal, at least as far as the rest of 2022 is concerned, but in the event that anything changes, I'll be sure to keep y'all updated and let you know. Now, if you want more information about what it's like living in the San Antonio area or the real estate market around here, my team and I, we're getting calls every day from folks just like you, researching homes and neighborhoods in the San Antonio area, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home anywhere around San Antonio, then give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or click the link in the description to schedule a Zoom call with a member of my team. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back in San Antonio, Texas.